Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 7th of March and we are going to deal with two very important topics which are in news. First is launch of new Aadhaar governance portal. Aadhaar, which aims to give every resident of India a unique identity, has launched this portal. Now what if you are a new registry in this Aadhaar portal, means you have a new Aadhaar number. And according to your socio-economic condition, you are eligible for certain schemes, policies, or I would say any entitlements by the government. So you go, you register yourself over there, and automatically you will be added in those databases of the government and in those list of beneficiaries of the government schemes and policies. This is what the usage of this portal is. This will make governance more inclusive. And this is not only for the government, this is for the private players also, where you can upgrade your Aadhaar number so that if any private player has to entitle you on the basis of Aadhaar, that person can also do that. Next is this chapter 5 which we are doing, the medium term economic outlook of India, where India's target of becoming a Viksit Bharat by 2047 is into picture, and domestic factors plus global factors are responsible for that. Okay. So we'll look at it and we'll see what are the changing patterns at the global and the national levels. After that, obviously the MCQs based on these two topics and answers to the MCQs of yesterday. So launch of new Aadhaar governance portal. So first, let me be very clear that this portal is not for a new registry. Means you don't have an Aadhaar number, you go on this portal, you can get Aadhaar number. No. You get Aadhaar number, then you go on this portal, register your Aadhaar number which you already got, and the system will analyze which all schemes you are entitled for and all, and in those databases of those schemes, your Aadhaar number will be added and the benefits will start coming to you. This is the main use of this Aadhaar governance portal. It is making governance streamlined. It is making governance more inclusive. And that is what the ultimate objective is. So the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology (MeitY) has launched a new Aadhaar governance portal, swik.meity.gov.in, to streamline the process of approval for Aadhaar authentication requests. So this is basically for that. Objectives: simplify governance processes and enhance citizen-centric services by making Aadhaar authentication more efficient. It is part of ongoing efforts to improve service delivery and ease of living for citizens. Talking about the legal framework, portal follows the recent amendments to the Aadhaar authentication for good governance, social welfare, innovation, knowledge rules 2025 under Aadhaar Act of 2016. Why is Aadhaar important? Aadhaar is important because it gives you unique identity. Yes, Aadhaar is important because it gives me unique identity. Why unique identity is so important? So that government comes to know that acha, this person exists, this is his Aadhaar number, this is the socio-economic condition of this person, and this person needs benefits. Now these benefits can be in the form of cash transfers. Cash transfers can be done directly in the bank account of that beneficiary, which is again linked with Aadhaar. So it helps service delivery to be more efficient. Earlier there was a time when the subsidies or benefits were being transferred by the central government, but they were not reaching the end beneficiary in the same amount. But now they are reaching. 10 crore people were identified as ghost beneficiaries, means they were not existing and benefits were being released for them from the central government. Now this definitely has saved a lot of money for the central government, and this definitely has made governance better. A key example is COVID vaccination. See how it was streamlined by the usage of Aadhaar. So there can be immense or number of usage of Aadhaar, because at that time we did not know that we are going to administer vaccines by using Aadhaar number when we were forming Aadhaar. But yes, it is very much important for good governance, and that is what the name of the rules is: Good Governance, Social Welfare, Innovation, Knowledge Rules 2025. These amendments are intended to support good governance and enhance the delivery of welfare services and benefits to the people. The benefits of the portal. This portal will expedite the inclusion of new use cases in Aadhaar. Now someone has got this Aadhaar number issued now, and what if that person is eligible for some for some benefits, but the government does not know. So you go with your Aadhaar number, register your Aadhaar number on this governance portal, then automatically upgrades will be done and you will be receiving the benefits. So expedite the inclusion of new use cases in governance, improving access to essential services for citizens. So it is designed to simplify processes for both governments and private entities. So private entities are also entitled for this. Impact of service delivery. Portal is expected to make services in various sectors such as healthcare, education, e-commerce and hospitality more accessible and efficient. It will also facilitate Aadhaar based services like staff attendance, customer onboarding and e-KYC verification. Features of the portal. It is a step-by-step guide to help entities apply for Aadhaar authentication. Face authentication may also be integrated into customer facing in the times to come. But as of now, it is not. Now, what about Aadhaar? You should know about it as well. So, it is a 12-digit random number issued by Unique Identification Authority of India, UIDAI. It is provided to residents of India after undergoing a verification process set by UIDAI. Verification processes entails your biometrics and address and such like. Eligibility and enrollment. Any resident of India. Resident includes the citizens also, but non-citizens also. So any resident of India, irrespective of age or gender, can voluntarily enroll for Aadhaar. Enrollment process is free and requires minimum demographic and biometric information. An individual needs to enroll only once. The uniqueness of Aadhaar is ensured through demographic and biometric deduplication, meaning only one Aadhaar number will be generated per person. So that is how you will be getting unique identity. Now, biometric information required. 10 fingerprints, they are required, 2 iris scans and facial photograph, 1 photograph is required. Aadhaar features. It is a verifiable online in a cost effective manner. You can online verify it, you can download your e-Aadhaar card as well. Number is unique and robust enough to eliminate duplicates and fake identities. It serves as a basis for rolling out several government welfare schemes and programs, thus promoting transparency and good governance. I have told you how it promotes transparency and good governance. Aadhaar is a proof of identity but does not confer rights such as citizenship or domicile. It is not telling about citizenship because it is issued to residents, non-citizens also. Aadhaar and governance acts like a strategic policy tool for social and financial inclusion. Bank accounts linked with Aadhaar, policies, insurance policies also linked with Aadhaar. Your Ayushman card also linked with Aadhaar. Public sector delivery reforms and fiscal management. It supports people-centric governance, enhances convenience. Convenience not only for the people but also for those people who are delivering these services. The system facilitates financial inclusion for underprivileged sections, promotes distributive justice and equality. So this is what it does. And it has also been globally recognized because many countries, especially the developed ones, are in awe of India's digital transition, India's digital public infrastructure, and Aadhaar is the backbone of India's digital public infrastructure if I tell you about it. So everything is revolving around Aadhaar. That is why it is very, very important. It plays a vital role in Digital India initiative as well. The impact on service delivery, a permanent financial address it gives you because your bank account nowadays are linked with Aadhaar, enabling the direct delivery of subsidies, benefits and services to residents using just Aadhaar number. Plays a significant role in promoting efficiency in governance and ensuring effective service delivery. If you know your Aadhaar number only and you give it to the government will automatically come to know about your bank because your bank is linked with Aadhaar. If you give only your Aadhaar number to the government will come to know what are your earnings because your PAN is linked with Aadhaar. All these things are there. If you only give your Aadhaar number to the government and you've registered on the Aadhaar portal, government will get to know about your health conditions as well. About UIDAI. The Unique Identification Authority of India is a statutory authority established under Aadhar Act 2016. It was created on 12 July 2016 by Government of India under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So UIDAI, responsible for issuing Aadhar numbers, a statutory body operating under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Aadhar Act 2016 was later amended by the Aadhar and Other Laws Amendment Act 2019, effective from 25th July 2019. But yes, there is a history of unique identity. First ever Aadhar number was issued in 2010, and that time the Aadhar issuing authority was under the Planning Commission. So we'll know about that as well. But yes, since it has become, I would say statutory, it is 2016 onwards, which we need to know and understand. So this is what it is. UIDAI's primary objective is to issue unique identification numbers, UIDs. Aadhar number must be robust enough to eliminate duplicate and fake identities, verifiable and authenticable in an easy, cost-effective way. So this is what or how it should be. Aadhar numbers issued as of 29 September 2023, UIDAI has issued 138.08 crore Aadhar numbers to residents across India. That is not a small number, and that is why the foreign countries are in awe of India's digital progress, and the scale of that progress is too immense. Responsibilities of UIDAI: Aadhar enrollment and authentication, managing all stages of Aadhar life cycle, including issuing Aadhar numbers and performing authentication is there. Policy and system development, developing policies, procedures and systems to manage Aadhar issuance. Security, ensuring the security of identity information. This is the biggest task I feel of UIDAI, because this portal contains a lot of personal information about the Indians, and if it gets leaked, it is going to be a blunder for India. So that cyber security of Aadhar portal is very much, very much important, I believe. Now, historical background of Aadhar, which I talked about. So March 3, 2006, the project Unique Identification for BPL families was approved by the Department of Information Technology. After 5-6 months, I would say 4 months, July 3, 2006, a process committee was formed to design the process for creating the unique identification database. November 26, 2006, strategic vision document for unique identification of residents was prepared. And December 4, 2006, the empowered group of ministers, EGOM, was set up to collate data for National Population Register and Unique Identification Number project. So 2006 was that year where the seeds of unique identification was sown under the UPA government. Evolution of UIDAI. Before becoming a statutory authority, Unique Identification Authority of India functioned as an attached office of the Planning Commission at that time. Now Planning Commission has been replaced by Niti Aayog from 28 January 2009 onwards. The first Aadhar number was issued on 29 September 2010 to a resident in Nandarbar, Maharashtra. On 12 September 2015, the government revised the allocation of business rules to place UIDAI under Department of Electronics and Information Technology from the erstwhile Planning Commission, which was now replaced by Niti Aayog as well. So this is the brief history and evolution of UIDAI and Aadhar. Now coming to the thematic discussion, chapter 5 of economic survey, India's medium term economic growth. In the last segment, we've seen, that the target is Viksit Bharat by 2047. That is the medium term growth or medium term we are looking at, and India needs to grow at somewhere around 8%. But apart from growth rate, it is also the domestic factors like education, skilling, the growing of the manufacturing sector, adoption of new technologies, governance, infrastructure creation. Such factors are domestic factors which will be responsible. And secondly, international factors. And the international landscape is changing. And, global economic fragmentation is happening. This is what we learned yesterday. Now, what else is there? We'll see in this chapter. Now, the elephant and dragon in the room, that is China. So global economic shifts, trade restrictions between 2020 and 2024, over 24,000 new trade and investment restrictions have been introduced globally in these 4 years, marking a fundamental shift in global economic engagement. This is what geo-economic fragmentation means. These shifts are reflected in slower global trade growth and signs of secular stagnation in the global economy, impacting long-term economic prospects. So definitely these will be impacted. Now, re-evaluating long-held economic practices. China's role. China has become a dominant force in global manufacturing and energy transition. Energy transition means it is transitioning towards the non-fossil based fuels like solar energy, wind energy and all, leveraging its competitiveness and economic policies. But there is a lot of uncertainty as the global economy is at a crossroads where traditional economic principles are being reconsidered, like hyper-globalization is being reconsidered and losing relevance. Countries are now operating in a new environment where uncertainty about the future rules prevail. So, this is what we need to know. China's dominance in manufacturing and energy transition. In 2000, China accounted for 6%, and by 2030, it is expected to account for 45%. So, this is what we need to know. Strategic advantage. China controls key resources essential for global supply chains, giving it a significant strategic advantage. An impact is China's rise has disrupted economies like Germany and Japan, especially in the auto market, and dominates the global distribution of critical minerals like rare earth elements, nickel, cobalt, lithium and such like. Now, reset of global manufacturing practices. Outsourcing of manufacturing to China during globalization era is set to undergo a reset. As I said that countries are looking to diversify, and here China plus one strategy is being adopted. This plus one is that alternative country to China. It can be India, it can be Mexico, it can be any Southeast Asian country depending upon the attractiveness of that country. Turning point. China's resurgence marks a significant turning point in global economic practices. Will China let that happen, or China's expertise let that happen? That is a big question. And here India needs to take this opportunity, but India will be able to take this opportunity if India has adequate, I would say, manpower, which India has. Skilled manpower, India is in transition of having it. There's a lot of infrastructure development. India is in transition of infrastructure development, and India is obviously in the transition phase of industrialization. So in this transition phase, how well we are able to tap upon the China plus one strategy, that is up to our diplomacy as well. Climate transition, China and global geopolitics. So climate as a global public good. Now countries nowadays are considering this a lot, and hence climate friendly products are being promoted. So climate change is a global public good that affects everyone. And for instance, a 1 degree Celsius warming can reduce global GDP by 12%. There is this direct correlation between global warming and economic growth. Global greenhouse gas emissions, major emitters. China is the largest emitter. US, EU and other G7 economies produce more than 50% of the global greenhouse gas emissions. In absolute terms, India is the third largest emitter. EU comprises of 27 countries, hence EU as a bloc is a bigger emitter than India. Net zero targets. These countries or these economies have set 2050 targets to reach net zero emissions. But yes, trade conflicts between them and all, let's see how they enable them to achieve these targets or not. India's climate actions, Panchamrit. So Panchamrit means 5 goals which India adopted in 2021. Earlier, India adopted 3 climate goals in 2015. But now we are on this path of achieving Panchamrit. We have achieved those 3 climate goals which we adopted in 2015 by 2021, almost 9 years in advance. But here we are on a path of achieving these 5 goals also. But yes, we are dependent upon countries like China because our import of solar panels and all is from China. Renewable energy, by 2030, the share of renewable energy, especially solar and wind, in India's installed capacity is expected to increase, while coal and lignite will decrease. But here, our dependency on China will also increase because for these, as of now, we are dependent upon China. So China's role in energy transition in India definitely is crucial. Solar photovoltaics, China dominates the solar photovoltaic industry, accounting for 80% of the manufacturing stages. Wind energy, 60% of the world's wind installed capacity comes from China. So you need to understand one thing, that China knows that countries will be looking to diversify, but China has gained expertise in such a sector which is needed by all the countries today, that is this clean energy sector. So आप चाह के भी you cannot reduce dependence upon China. This is what strategy China has adopted, and this is what India is also doing. Battery manufacturing, China holds 80% of global battery manufacturing capacity, a critical component for energy transition. So EVs you talk about, you need batteries, here again China. For storing solar power or wind power, you need batteries, again China. Investment in 2022, China allocated $546 billion for investments in solar, wind, energy, electric vehicles and battery technologies, and that is a huge amount in itself. This is somewhat equivalent to India's forex reserves. India's strategy for e-mobility, India is investing in metro rails to reduce dependence on overseas supply chains for e-mobility. Means we'll reduce dependence upon I would say fossil fuels, but yes, we'll increase dependence upon countries like China for import of solar photovoltaics and all. Public transport, currently only 37% of India's urban population has easy access to public transport. To meet net zero goals, we have net zero goals set by 2070. India must focus on developing integrated transport systems. Benefits, investing in efficient and accessible public transport will promote clean mobility, reduce traffic congestion and support more resilient economic growth as well in the urban centers of the country. Now, India's renewable energy manufacturing efforts. There are efforts done by India, like there is this product linked incentive or production linked incentive scheme which is launched, and this is launched for photovoltaics, wind turbines and all. But yes, nothing much or nothing great is happening, and we need to do a revolution over here. Dependence, currently India sources 75% of lithium ion batteries from China and has negligible production capacity for critical components like polysilicon, which is used in photovoltaic cells to generate solar power, ingots and wafers, solar wafers. These are some, I would say, key components used for making photovoltaic cells, and we have not generated capacity in it. Challenge, if trade disruptions occur between blocs regarding critical minerals, investment in renewable energy and electric vehicles could be 30% lower by 2030 compared to a non-fragmented world, hindering the transition and affecting growth opportunities for countries like India. So implications for India's growth prospects, vision for Viksit Bharat, goal, India aims to become a developed nation by 2047. Growth rate 8%, investment rate needs to rise from 31% of GDP to 35% to support its growth. This is still achievable, but here this needs to be achieved. Focus areas include manufacturing, emerging technologies like AI, robotics, biotechnology, as well as clean energy, creating 78.5 lakh new non-farm jobs annually until 2030. Education and infrastructure, definitely that is a key ingredient of having a robust workforce, a productive workforce. What are the policy actions to support growth? Digitization, we need to do it more. Like Aadhar, we just discussed as the first topic. We need more such kind of tools to bring in more transparency and efficiency. Then PAN 2.0 project aims to streamline paperless processes and unify digital systems across the financial segment. Jan Vishwas Act 2023, it aims to decriminalize provisions across central acts to reduce unnecessary regulations. This will improve or increase or enhance the investor sentiment. Regulatory modernization should also happen. Further regulatory modernization is needed to maintain flexibility as economy grows. So this is all, or these all policy actions should be there, or domestic factors which we should be seeing towards for improving India's growth. Focus on medium-term structural reforms like manufacturing. We need to upgrade our capacity and technology know-how of manufacturers. Human resources, improving human resource availability and addressing resource bottlenecks. Skilling, upskilling, reskilling should be done. Agriculture, unlocking the potential of agriculture sector. Since India is having one of the lowest agricultural productivity per hectare, we need to improve that. Green capital, leveraging global green capital for funding the green transition. This seems to be a bit shaky as of now with Donald Trump withdrawing from the Paris Pact. This can falsely motivate other developed countries also to withdraw, and it will be a difficult position for countries like India to tap upon the global global green finance. Education and employment, bridging the education employment gap and enhancing state capabilities to support growth. So this should be the focus areas, and this is where chapter 5 ends. It was an interesting chapter covering all the dynamics of the world which are happening right now. China understanding pretty well the China +1 strategy, the global economic the geo-economic fragmentation, and it has, it is making the world dependent upon itself for certain goods which are the need of the hour, that is the green goods. So let us see how India deals with it. Now coming on to the MCQs. Consider the following use cases of the new Aadhar governance portal and mark the correct one. Registering new users is the purpose of this portal. Improving access to essential services for citizens. Which of these is the use case of this new Aadhar governance portal? You have to answer it. Second, which of the following can be the features of Aadhar? It gives unique identity to every citizen of India. Biometric verification is mandatory. It is a proof of citizenship. Carefully answer this. Only 1 and 3, only 2, only 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Third, the UIDAI, Unique Identification Authority of India, is under the authority of Ministry of Personnel, Ministry of Home Affairs, Niti Aayog, or Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Fourth, a term Panchamrit, often seen in news, relates to which of the following? First, India's mix of 5 biofuels to reduce carbon emissions. India's climate goals submitted in 2015, India's climate goals submitted in 2021, or none of the above. Again, a simple one, but yes, need to answer them carefully. So with this, we come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Namaste. Jai Hind.